Well, it happened. The news has broken. Just like I told y'all, the Ravens and John Harbaugh will be parting ways as of today. Now, a lot to get into on this topic, but I just want to say I do believe that Harbaugh will be a hot candidate for any team looking for a head coach. There's a lot of names that come to mind, possibly the Titans. The Titans are a franchise who are looking for stability. Who better to get than Harbaugh to bring stability? We can talk about other destinations later, but I told you guys that Lamar Jackson was the last person that was going to leave the Ravens before they fired every single person in house. And that includes Harbaugh, that includes the GM. Everybody would have had to go before you even think that it is a possibility you can trade Lamar Jackson because you cannot. You cannot. Everybody would have to go before that even is a thought. So I just want to put that out there first. Now, when we're talking head coaches and potential head coaches that could land the Baltimore job, there's a lot of names that come to mind. I really hope for Lamar Jackson's sake and for the Baltimore Ravens' sake that they go and hire an offensive minded head coach. And not only an offensive minded head coach, but somebody with some young blood, somebody that can relate to Lamar Jackson, somebody that will jive with your star quarterback, Lamar Jackson. And a name in the hat that I really, really like is Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator over at the Seattle Seahawks. What he has been doing with Sam Darnold and that Seattle offense, it's been great to watch. I think that he could get something going, get a scheme that fits Lamar, use his athletic capabilities, but yet make him a great passer from the pocket, which is something that people have had complaints about when it comes to Lamar Jackson. Even though I think he's capable of throwing any throw on the football field from the pocket on the run, doesn't matter. Lamar Jackson is insanely talented, and I want to see him paired with somebody that can get even more out of him. The Ravens have been a defensive franchise. Like, let's be real, under Harbaugh, that's what they do. That's what they focused on for the last 18 years that Harbaugh's been there is defense, defense, and run the ball down your throat. So I want to see an offensive guy, a young, fresh offensive mind who could come and make this thing work. And if not a young offensive mind, how about bringing somebody like Brian Flores, who knows how to stop Lamar Jackson, who does a great job at playing Lamar Jackson? Who better than to unlock something out of Lamar Jackson? Now, obviously, you would have to pair him with a great offensive coordinator, maybe Cliff Kingsbury, who just got let go by the Cardinals. There's a lot of names on the table when we're talking offensive minded head coaches that could become the Baltimore Ravens' next coach. But just to touch on the firing, it was time. I really do believe it was time. The Baltimore Ravens, 18 long years with Harbaugh, and sometimes the message gets stale. Sometimes the message, the voice in the locker room gets stale and starts to die out over time. It gets old. This is the NFL. These are grown men that put their lives on the line playing football games. They depend on each other. And after 18 years, the message can get stale. And I think that's just the case. And it's not that Harbaugh's a bad coach. Harbaugh's going to have people lined up at the door. The Giants should call him tomorrow. The Browns should call him tomorrow. There's teams that are going to want to hire Harbaugh. And, Kevin Stefanski is another big name in the hat. I don't see him going to the Ravens. I think he would probably end up with the Raiders before he ends up with the Ravens. But this is just a very, very, very long overdue parting ways. And Lamar Jackson needs somebody to come in to say, hey, you are our guy. You will always be our guy as long as I am here. Don't listen to the noise. We're going to build this team around you. The Baltimore Ravens of the past and the present before firing Harbaugh, like I said, very, very defensive focused. And that's where they like to spend their money. And The weapons that the Ravens have been a problem for me. And I think it's because they are tone deaf to offense. I think they are blind to offense. And you could say the same thing about the Steelers. These are franchises that are very old school with very, very old school head coaches that are very big on defense. So you bring in a head coach that's knows what he's doing on the offensive side of the ball. He can bring in the proper weapons, the proper supporting cast to help Lamar Jackson and the Ravens reach a Super Bowl because that's the goal. You don't fire Harbaugh because you think you're a bad football team. You fire Harbaugh because it's been too long and we're done settling for the first round. We need to get past this first round. We need to build a team that can go on a Super Bowl run around Lamar, not the defense. So I say this, I've said this before. Zay Flowers, I don't think he can be your wide receiver one. His size limits him. He is not capable of being a true wide receiver one option in the NFL. The supporting cast is weak, in my opinion. They brought back Mark Andrews, gave him an extension, a 30-year-old tight end who's had probably the worst season of his career. And you got a young tight end, Isaiah Likely, who's made some big plays for Baltimore, who looks promising, and his future's up in the air. And I think that this goes back to the fact that they are so infatuated with defense as a franchise. The only thing that would break that pattern is to bring in somebody on the offensive side. So not only will an offensive minded head coach give the Ravens something that they've never had, which is an awareness to offense, somebody that knows this is an offensive league. This isn't the Baltimore Ravens. This isn't 18 years ago. This isn't a league where you got Ray Lewis and Ed Reed flying around on defenses and guys, cornerbacks who can hit like safeties. I mean, this is not the NFL anymore. So where the NFL is headed, you got to have a good head coach. And if that head coach is defensive, that's fine. But you got to have a great offensive coordinator if that's the case. And if not, then like I said, you got to have an offensive head coach who's calling the plays as well. And this is going to bring so much more life, so much more awareness. And this is what they needed. This is the kick in the butt that the Ravens needed as a franchise to make the best decision moving forward. So, yes, I do agree that this was the right move at the right time. And the missed field goal had to happen for them to wake up because had they won that game, even if they had lost to the Texans, the Ravens in the next round, I still do believe that they would have kept Harbaugh. So this was the kick in the ass that you needed to get things right because Lamar Jackson's not getting any younger. This injuries are stacking up. You can see a little bit of loss in the legs. You know, he's not making cuts. And yes, he was hurt all year. I get it. But you need somebody that knows what they are doing on the offensive side of the ball that Lamar Jackson can grow with. And I like Clint Kubiak. I like Cliff Kingsbury. You know, these are guys who are available right now. Kevin Stefanski, maybe. Who knows? You got to give him a call, give him an interview, request an interview with the Seahawks. You know, there's a lot of candidates that would love to take this job, would love to play with Lamar Jackson. So, a little bit of breaking news. Just wanted to give my take on it. Give me your thoughts down below. Did the Baltimore Ravens get this right? Or do you think that this was the wrong move and that they should have moved off Lamar, which is an insane take to me, but I'm open to I'm all ears. All right. Tell me what you think. Let me know in the comments. It's been Dave G, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.